So I've been seeing people dissect old TV sitcoms, and I'm not really against it, but I'm not really for it either because it really depends on the sitcom you're discussing. But there's one thing about TV sitcoms that I find repulsive, and it has nothing to do with the actual show. There's a group of grown men who watch TV sitcoms and they take that shit to heart. It goes back into the absurdity of patriarchal masculinity and how it ultimately affects the men who practice it as well. But there's a group of men who think what it means to be a man can be signified in a fictional TV show. Their definition of masculinity is so corny, so toxic, that they will defend the TV sitcom dad with their whole chest. Unironically. Like the same men out here would be like, oh, it's just a TV show, it's just this, or it didn't really happen. They will take a TV sitcom dad and be like, oh yeah, well that's what it means to be a man. That's what you have to do. You gotta respect the father of the house. Like he was perfectly in the right about this and blah, 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 blah. Not understanding what the TV sitcom dad is supposed to represent. And what the TV sitcom dad usually represents is emotional incompetence and illiteracy. Usually the ones who start the conflict of that episode, because any episode that features the dad as the central figure, it usually has to do with the following. Like, oh, I don't understand this, therefore it's wrong. They talk to me a certain way and I don't like it, and at the end episode they give a half-assed apology and admitting to the way that their father raised them or some shit. Cliche. Usually featuring the father character having a moment with his father figure, where the father figure is giving him a pat on the shoulder, be like, you're right. Congratulating his son on being a good father figure, being a good man, and then the father figure usually looks at his dad like, my kids were right. Or the back in my day, we just didn't do this, but I'm gonna spend the entire episode giving you a hard time about it until I see you actually do the thing that you enjoy, and suddenly I'm gonna realize my son's not me. The typical Disney drama where it's like, no dad, I'm not giving up my dream, I'm giving up yours. Which is a big reflection in real life with the dads who try to make their kids try out for sports because, oh, I could have gone pro if it weren't for my ankle. And just unnecessary amounts of emotional abuse, sometimes physical abuse and neglect. And yelling. A whole lot of yelling. And the thing is, a lot of TV sitcoms aren't meant to be taken seriously. Like, there's some out there that should be. Fresh Prince gave me some moments I could have a discourse about. But I did see someone break apart My Wife and Kids the other day talking about how every character is kind of a bad person. Well, it's kind of meant to be comedic, but at the same time, I know a man who acts just like this, and it's my uncle. Always gotta put someone down, always gotta make a sarcastic comment, cannot keep their hands to themselves, by the way. I see men foaming at the mouth because we called out Carl Winslow and how he's kind of a hypocritical parent. Like, yes, there's Eddie, and Eddie was kind of a screw up a lot of the time, but then there was Laura. Think about the show. How many times did you see Carl's mom call him out? Yeah, Carl's not a perfect human being. He's not a perfect character, but how many men will swear that he is the perfect epitome of the father figure? Okay, there's Family Guy. I'm not getting anything out of this, but yet I know a bunch of Peters out here. Maybe the main ones who still have the same humor from high school. I hate the show for burning passion. Everything that I know about it is against my will. There's a lot of discourse that can happen around the show, but if I wanted to talk about those things, I would go to therapy and with my family. But even then, y'all are still pretending this nigga is perfect. Y'all's definition of masculinity is so corny you can't even tell that's supposed to be satire. Yes, grown men. That's actually how you use the word satire. You know what? Let's piss some people off. Uncle Phil wasn't perfect. He was one of the better father figures, trust me on that, but at the same time, the early seasons Uncle Phil, you see exactly where Carlton came from. Especially early stage Uncle Phil. He was not the perfect parental figure. A lot of the things he tried to teach Will or force upon him were just anti-black at heart. Wasn't that just Phil just moved his family out of a certain neighborhood and provided for them for the better? It was that he forgot who he was and where he came from. He was one of the TV fathers who thought that everything that he didn't represent, that everything he didn't do was automatically wrong. Like, yes, Will screwed up a lot, but Phil was not the perfect human being. And there were plenty of episodes that acknowledged that. But do y'all remember those? Probably not. I feel like a lot of men's relationship with TV sitcom dad is just projection. Either projection of their own actions or the projection of their fathers before them. Or sometimes lack thereof. TV sitcom dad is the perfect representation of how a man's worst enemy is their own ego and pride. How a lot of people think that a father is supposed to be someone who provides food, provides shelter, and promotes fear in the household. And the more that some of y'all defend these satirical characters, the more I just understand that you're not meant to be a father. For one, I hope you don't have sons because you're just going to make a new generation of ain't shit. And if you have a daughter, you're going to create a new generation of gold diggers because that's what a lot of emotionally stunted men do with their daughters. I was talking about, I'm going to teach my daughter exactly how a man's supposed to treat her, but yet you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to treat your wife, you don't know how to approach things calmly. So what's your definition of treating a woman right? Buying her shit. Example, Hillary and Carlton. And overall, a lot of you men think that being a man and being a good father is just punching down on the rest of your home. Insinuating that no one else in the house understands what you have to go through, the world that you see it, Therefore, whatever idea that they have, whatever interest or hobby they have, ridiculous. And that's one of the main reasons I'm not against people dissecting sitcoms, no matter how outlandish the takes might be. Because if we can avoid some of these cliches in the future and actually get some quality, wholesome family moments for fucking once, or at least get some drama and conflict that's not from the 1940s, that would be amazing. Because I'd just be watching some of these sitcoms of the modern day and I'm like, so when are they gonna get divorced? Just me. Look, I am the hater. I kind of want Trudy to leave, Oscar. That's just me. Because the unstable, unloving marriage trope. Please, let's just stop romanticizing cisgender heterosexual drama, please.